Hi guys, welcome to your library at home. It's me, Elda. Thanks for joining tonight. We are going to be doing a really fun project tonight. We are going to be harvesting your herbs from your garden. So I have 3 different types of projects that we're going to be doing. First one we're going to be doing is, I don't know if you can see behind me, right here is a drying rack for your herbs. So we're going to start with that. Really simple supplies. We are going to use a stick from your garden. You're going to need some string. I've got thin string and then thicker string. That doesn't really matter, that's just what I had. So we are going to go ahead, first thing you want to do is go ahead and trim your herbs. Here's a fun thing. So I'm going to show you how to dry these, and then with the ones that aren't perfectly ready to hang, I'm going to show you how to freeze them and infuse them in oil and vinegar. So the first thing you want to do is trim your herbs. Now is perfect time because you might be able to get one more little growth spurt out of them. So you want them to be about 7 inches long and bunches however much you have. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down so you can see what we're doing here. I know you can only kind of see, so I will try to hold up to you. Okay, so what I've done with my bunches is I've cut some string. I'm going to say it's about, mine are extra long, but you probably want to go about 12 inches. And you want to wrap your string. First, rinse these really well and let them dry on paper towels. After you do that, leave about 6 inches. Hi Denise, hi Heike. Go ahead and leave about a 6-inch piece here and then just wrap this around maybe, I don't know, about 5, 6, 7, 8, about that many times, about 10 times. Go ahead and tie this one in a knot. And then here's the really simple part. And now you are just going to wrap this around your stick once this way. Oh, see, I made this one a little too short, so I'm going to go wrap it around this way and come under with that one. And hopefully you guys can see this. And I am just tying this up. All right, so I've got my first one. So what you want to do is, you can see that, there it is hanging. You don't want to hang this in a really sunny spot or super humid spot. I'm going to hang mine in my windowsill because I don't really get sun in my kitchen and I think it looks cute. So these ones I've already tied off. Oops, my rosemary twisted. So you just want to make sure you do it on the right side. And you just want to wrap it around, like I said, just enough so you can get them tied. I've got rosemary, I've got sage, I've got oregano. Shout out to Heike for her oregano. I'm gonna tie this around. Make sure I have enough to go. My stick's really thick, so I probably should have left about 8 inches, but same thing, tie a little knot. Tie it around your stick. And we'll do one more. I've got 4 on here. And then we're just gonna take, I'm using a little bit thicker twine, and I'm gonna cut about 2 feet. And this is gonna be my hanger. Grab my scissors. And I'm literally just going to tie a knot. Hi Maureen, tie a knot on this end. I'm going to, oh yeah, this was a lot. Tie a knot on that end. Trim off the extra. All right, and here you go. Here's your cute little drying rack. If you wanted to get, of course I always forget something when I do my program, so I forgot my labels. So I would have hung a little tag on here just to make it look a little cuter. And here you go, hang it. In about 2 weeks, you'll have some nice dried herbs that you can cook with. Okay, so that's the first fun thing you can do with herbs from your garden. The next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to infuse or freeze. I don't know if you guys can see that, there's kind of a glare. You're going to freeze your herbs in ice cube trays with olive oil. And then you're going to freeze in about a day, pack them in baggies, and then here you have, when you wanna saute some chicken, you just throw your olive oil with your herbs already in there. This is nice because they're nice and fresh. You put those right in your sink, or I'm sorry, in your pan. Cook your chicken, cook your vegetables, and you are good to go. I made some parsley and olive oil so we can make parsley potatoes. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and pick your herbs from your garden. And I have got some already. I've got some oregano. Rinse them out, dry them real good on a paper towel, and you want them just little bitty leaves. So I've got some oregano. I've got some thyme, some rosemary, and some basil. So for the thyme, which this is very time consuming, but you do want to go ahead and pick off your long pieces, and then you can easily just run your finger down here and all, you guys can see that, but all the leaves come off. So that's, the thyme takes the longest to do, but you just slide it down and they come off. Oregano, just pick all your leaves off. If you want to chop these, you can. I'm not going to chop my oregano. I'm going to leave it as is. The basil, so here's the thing. When you pick your herbs, if you want to dry them, you've always got some pieces that you may have to clean off the edges. So this is a really good use for those. So just go ahead and grab your basil, and you want to cut them in little pieces. This is also nice if you want to pick the ends off, freeze them, and then reroot your basil plant. Perfect use for those basil leaves if you're not ready to eat them. So just go ahead, chop them up. And then we are going to fill your ice cube trays about halfway with your herbs. These smell so good right now. Fill them up halfway. Same thing with all of the other ones. And if you wanted to, you can mix them up. Hi, Emma. Just a little bit more left. Thyme. Rosemary is the same thing as the thyme. You just slide your finger down and pick off all the little rosemary needles. You don't really want stems in there. So that's how you want to go ahead and do your rosemary. This is a perfect thing to do right before that first frost that we all get and we're not ready. We haven't picked all of our herbs from our garden yet. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this tray. No, I probably do one tray of each, but because we're doing it quick tonight, live program, I'm just gonna make one tray of all of it. So all of them are about halfway full. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to pour the olive oil right, just to cover up the herbs on my tray. Like I said, it takes about 24 hours to freeze, and then pop them out, throw them in little individual Ziploc baggies, and you are good to go for some winter cooking. You can throw these in soups, like I said, potatoes, eggs, chicken. All right, and there you go. It's ready to go in the freezer. So we've dried them, we're freezing them, and now I'm gonna show you how to do the infused oil. So I have these bottles here that are already made, and these things are pretty expensive. They're probably 10, 15 bucks a bottle. So I went ahead, my favorite store, got some bottles from the dollar store, and my herbs that weren't big enough to hang, but were still big enough to do something with. So the first one I'm gonna do, just literally putting my rosemary right in here, and I'm gonna fill it with some vinegar. You know what I didn't tell you, what you wanna do though, is you do kind of wanna just squish it a little bit with your fingers, because that'll release all of the fragrance and taste from it. So just pinch it a little bit and go ahead, and I am filling mine with some red wine vinegar. Let's see how well I can do this. I also realized I did not have a funnel. And there you go. So now you've got some rosemary. vinegar, if you want to use that for salad. We are going to do some, this one's pretty big, so I'm going to break it in half. Just different flavors, whatever you like. I'm going to do some rosemary. I'm going to go with some thyme and some oregano. I'm going to fill this one pretty good. These are all pre-washed. I let them dry real good. I'm putting a good amount in there. And I am going to fill this, move it off the cutting board so I don't spill. Fill my jar with olive oil now. And I have some chalkboard labels that I was going to put a label on the front and label this. Rosemary, thyme, and oregano. This is perfect. Let it sit for a couple weeks, and it is perfect to dip some bread in. Ooh, filled that one just a tad bit too much, because now I want to show you. Here's the fun part. I think I still have a little too much in there. Okay, so if you, I don't know if you guys can see that. If you have peppers in your garden, you can put some peppers in there. And these come with a little pour lid. And go ahead and just pop that on there, and you're good to go. We'll do one more. These jars I also thought were really cute. This would make a great gift. I am going to just trim the stem of my basil off. Let's see if I can fit that in there. That opening is a little small, but I think we can do it, because I want it to pop open once it gets in there. Let's see, I've got these extra basil leaves, so throw a little bit more basil in there, because who doesn't like basil and olive oil with some really nice fresh bread dipped in there? I know that's really full, but I want it to, as you can see, I want it to pop open in there. So, I'll make one more. This one's gonna be a little bit trickier to fill, so bear with me, guys. So the herbs didn't cost me anything. I got the bottles and the ice cube trays from the dollar store. My olive oil and vinegar, which I already had, and here you have it. This cost me very, very little. So here is my basil. And since I have all these spices laying around, let's make one more. We're gonna load this one up. I've got some sage. I'm gonna put a lot of thyme in this one, because the thyme looks really pretty in there. We're gonna do thyme. This you can also cook with once you run out of your olive oil in the ice cubes. Put some oregano. Go ahead and fill this one up all the way. And like I said, for $1 for the bottle and herbs from your garden, this is a really inexpensive way to use up your herbs to preserve them, and they also make really great gifts. There you go. I only used about half of the big jug of olive oil, so that's pretty good. All right, and there you go. Put the lid on it. It is ready to go. There you go. So that is just a couple things that you can do with your fresh herbs from your garden. Oops, sorry guys. Before you have to pack them all away for the winter. So thanks for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you guys go out and pick some herbs and try to make some of these projects. If you do, send a picture, let us know. I'd love to see it. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.